Most people are laser focused on how to make money, but that's only half the story. Today, we're going to explore the 5 proven paths to building income streams that show up day after day. This isn't just about working for a paycheck, it's about building real, sustainable wealth that starts working for you.
So, let's just start with a question. Imagine you wake up tomorrow and there's $500 in your account, and the next day, another $500, every single day. What would you do? For most people, that's the dream, right? Game over. Life is set.
But here's the reality, and it's an uncomfortable one. Statistically, there's a very high probability you'd be broke again inside of a year. And this has nothing to do with how smart you are. It's about a deep misunderstanding of how money actually works.
And just so we're clear, $500 a day isn't just a little side money. That's $15,000 a month. It's $180,000 a year. So the real question is, how on earth does that kind of money just vanish? Well, it comes down to this. Making money and keeping money are 2 completely different skills. Our whole lives we're taught the first skill, but almost no one teaches us the second, and that's the one that actually matters. Okay, so before we dive into the how, we have to get the foundation right. And that means we need to redefine a phrase you've heard 1,000 times: passive income. See, true passive income, it's not some magic button. It's not about doing nothing. It's about front-loading the effort. It's about doing valuable work one time and then building a system around it that pays you over and over again. It's slow, for sure, but that upfront work is what buys you long-term freedom. Now here's the thing. Before you can even think about building, you have to stop the leaks. Most people think they'll lose their money in one big, dramatic mistake, but that's not how it happens. Wealth doesn't disappear in a bang, it disappears in a whisper. This is how it happens. It's death by 1,000 cuts. That subscription you forgot about, the phone upgrade you didn't really need, buying things to impress people who aren't even paying attention. You don't go broke from one terrible choice, you go broke from 100 small, comfortable ones. If you can master this, everything else becomes so much easier. All right, so with that foundation in place, let's get into it. The 5 paths to consistent income. And one of these is so simple, so boring, that most people just ignore it. And that's exactly why it works so well.
Path number 1, dividend income. When you buy a dividend stock, you're not just betting on the price. You're buying a tiny piece of a real business. And that business pays you a piece of its profits just for being an owner.
Now, here's where most people get it wrong. They chase hype. They chase trends. The discipline approach is the exact opposite. It's focusing on stable, boring, established companies that have a long history of paying out. You have to remember, slow money is strong money. This is about getting paid consistently for a very long time.
Okay, our second path is selling online. This is where you really start to see the power of leverage. You build a system one time and it works for you around the clock. Let me tell you, the first time you wake up and realize you made money while you were asleep, it changes everything.
And here is the critical mindset shift you have to make. You are not selling products. You are solving problems. Nobody buys a drill bit because they want a drill bit. They buy a drill bit because they want a hole in the wall. When you start thinking about what problems people have, you stop guessing and you start creating things people actually want to buy.
Path number 3 is a classic for a reason: real estate. Now, this is not fast money, but it is powerful, tangible money. It's one of the oldest and most proven ways to build real wealth with a physical asset. And let's just bust the biggest myth right now. You do not need a fortune to get started. You can begin with something called a real estate investment trust, or a REIT, which is kind of like buying a share of a huge property portfolio. Or you can use the classic strategy: buy a property and let your tenant pay down the mortgage for you. That's the power of leverage. Someone else is building your wealth. Path 4 is something you're literally a part of right now: creating content. A platform like YouTube lets you build digital assets, and every single video, if you do it right, is like a little employee that works for you 24/7 for years. It's not just about ads, it's about connecting all your other income streams.
Again, the common trap here is chasing that one viral hit. The disciplined approach is to patiently build a library of valuable, helpful content. Each video stacks on top of the last, and over time, you're no longer chasing attention, it's coming to find you.
And that brings us to our final path, and maybe the most scalable of them all: digital products. This is where you take what you know, your expertise, your skills, and turn it into an income stream that has almost no ceiling. Just think about it for a second. An ebook, an online course, a simple template.
You do the hard work of creating it once, and you can sell it forever. There's no inventory, no shipping, no limit. This is how you completely break the link between your time and your income. It is the ultimate form of leverage.
So let's pull this all together and look at them side by side. Dividend income, low time to get started, and it's all about consistency. Selling online, YouTube, digital products, they take a medium amount of time, and they're built on solving problems, building assets, and scaling up. And real estate, it takes the most time, but it's built on that incredible power of leverage. Just look at this and ask yourself, which one of these really speaks to me?
So, we've walked through the tactics, but what we're about to talk about now, this is the part that actually matters. It's the one thing that holds all of these strategies together, and it's the part almost everyone gets wrong, the mindset.
There's a saying that you really need to let sink in. Money doesn't change you, it reveals you. Money is just an amplifier. If you lack discipline with a little money, you will lack discipline with a lot of money. It just magnifies who you already are. This is why so many lottery winners end up right back where they started.
And that leads to the final critical point. A lot of people will hear all this, they'll understand it, and they still won't do anything. And why is that? It's because motivation is easy. It feels good, but it's temporary. Consistency is hard, and consistency is what actually builds wealth.
So you see, the question isn't really, can you make $500 a day? The paths are there, the opportunity is there. The real question, the one you have to ask yourself is this: will you still be working on it when it's slow, when it's frustrating, and when it's boring? Because that's the moment. That's when real wealth is actually built.